Today I'm going to discuss when having excess mobility and flexibility is a dangerous thing. What's going on, everybody? How you doing? It's Blake Bowman here with GuerrillaZen Fitness. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about a unique scenario when having mobility and flexibility around a joint is actually dangerous. So before we start off, you have to know the difference between what flexibility and mobility is. Flexibility is basically the length of the muscle tissues around a joint, and mobility has more to do with the joint itself. So using the ankle as an example, if you had a flexibility issue with the ankle, you'd look for the tissues around the ankle, like the calves, which can restrict the joint's range of motion. If you had a mobility issue with the ankle, you would look within the joint. Maybe you rolled that ankle before and the inside of the joint is all tacked down with scar tissue and it's like cemented shut, and that's what's causing the lack of range of motion. Those are the distinct differences between flexibility and mobility. I'll link to a video that I made about that in the past. I'll do that right at the end of this video. Having said that, whether you're talking about flexibility or mobility, they both affect the joint's range of motion. Both things are very commonly promoted as, you know, this will solve all of your problems. I've made videos on a lot of these things, how to, you know, increase flexibility around a certain joint or how to improve mobility around a certain joint. It's oftentimes just sold to you as, you know, the cure-all for everything you have going on. You need more flexibility, you need more mobility. This is not always the case, and this is what I'm going to get into right now. When you do something like a joint mobilization or a flexibility exercise, and that exercise that you did grants your joint a greater range of motion, so you can move that joint further into a new range of motion that you weren't able to before, it's now imperative and crucial that you teach your body and your neuromuscular system how to use that new range of motion. Otherwise, it'll become dangerous. If you don't actively use that new range of motion and get your muscles to contract and fire in that new range of motion immediately after acquiring it through mobility or flexibility exercises, now that new range of motion is unstable. Your body is capable of taking a joint into that range of motion, but it has no control there, and that's where you're open to injury, okay? Your body's kind of loose, and you don't have the strength to function in that new range of motion, okay? So that's one of the main drawbacks of not, you know, taking advantage of that new range of motion immediately after acquiring it. The second thing is that it's, you know, this is not dangerous, but you're not going to keep that new range of motion unless you teach your body how to use it, right? If you just mobilize your ankle or your shoulder, for example, and that's it, and then you go to bed, you know, and you're not teaching your body how to use that new range of motion, your joint's going to just stiffen right back up again, and that new range of motion that you were granted through the exercise is only going to last a little bit, and it's not going to become something that you're able to use in the future because your joint's just going to stiffen back up again. Your neuromuscular system has no idea how to function in that new range of motion. I'll try to break this into an analogy for you kind of computer geeks out there. Think of the new range of motion that you have acquired through mobility or flexibility exercises as hardware, okay? It's a new piece of like hardware that your body has acquired. You need to give your body the software that it needs to run that in order for it to actually be of use to you, okay? Otherwise, it's just something that's like attached and it's not really doing anything. And that's what you need to do, you know, when you're doing these mobility, flexibility exercises. You need to couple them with activation exercises, okay? So that leads me into, like, you might be wondering, what do I do then to, you know, to activate that muscle? You simply do any kind of exercise that allows the muscles around the joint to contract while you're in that new range of motion, okay? So something I was, you know, thinking about how I was gonna, you know, share this with you today. There's an exercise that I show on YouTube here that involves putting your hands like this and then touching your elbows together. When you're doing this, what you're doing is you're externally rotating the arm bone. This is a good postural corrective exercise. When you do that, your elbows are coming together, your humerus is externally rotating. You're stretching the internal rotators of the shoulder, and you're giving yourself more flexibility and range of motion when it comes to external rotation. Okay, so you're able to stand with a more open chest. Now if you do this alone and you're not doing any exercise that actually activates the external rotators of the shoulder with like a resistance band, you can hold a resistance band and kind of go out like this, active external rotation, or you can just hold it down here by your, you know, arms and turn out like that. If you're not doing something like that, you're not activating your musculature within that new range of motion, and it's not going to last, and it could even be dangerous. That's not a really good example of what could be dangerous, but you know, I just kind of wanted to put that out there to give you kind of an idea as to what I'm talking about. Another one, if you're mobilizing your ankles, right? Your ankles are stiff and they're missing dorsiflexion, which is your ability to pull your toes up towards your shin. If you do mobilization exercises for that, and now all of a sudden you went from being able to bend your ankle this much to being able to bend it this much, you have to utilize that new range of motion now. And a simple way to do that is to just like lay down, point your toes forward, and then pull your toes all the way up as high as you can, using your muscles in your the front of your shin, anterior tibialis, more specifically. Right, so that would be a good activation exercise to do following a mobility exercise. The banded external rotation would be a good exercise to do after this exercise, okay? I'm just trying to drill this into you. Anytime you do pretty much any kind of joint mobilization or any kind of flexibility work, you want to activate in that new range of motion. That can mean doing isolation exercises like that, or something integrated like squats that require you to dorsiflex that ankle all the way within that new range of motion. I'm involved here in Detroit with the yoga community a lot, and yogis, you know, it's very, very common for them to be hypermobile, to have this problem that I'm discussing right now. They're super flexible, their joints are super mobile, but they don't have enough strength and neuromuscular control in order to make all that stuff safe and functional. So they're kind of just floppy, and you know, they're oftentimes very susceptible to orthopedic injury as a result of this. Whereas meatheads who are really stiff and actually need to do this mobility stuff, you know, they actually have the opposite problem going on. That's it for today's video though. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have, leave me a like down below, hit that thumbs up, and leave me a comment in the comment area. Let me know what you want me to make videos on in the future. Also, if you want a workout that actually combines joint mobility work with flexibility work and strength training, so essentially a workout that, you know, will bring you more range of motion and teach you how to strengthen in that new range of motion and keep it turn it into functional range of motion while improving your posture and your joint centration, getting you stronger, then you need to get my free workout called 3-Day Functional Training Split. This is a 3-day workout plan that you can go through throughout an entire week. It hits every major muscle group in the body and is really good and balanced. So if you want that, it's available for free. It's on my website. All you have to do is click the first link in the description down below or the first pinned comment in the comment section. What that will do is it'll take you to my website. You'll learn a little bit more about that program, and if you decide it's something you want to do, you enter in your email and I'll send you the program within 5 minutes. If you're looking for another place to subscribe to my YouTube channel, you can click this button right here. Just remember to click the bell icon right after you've done that below this video so that you can get notifications. And if you want another spot to get my 3-day functional training split, you can click this. And if you want to see another video like this one, then click this link over here. That's it for today. I'll see you next time.